What it is, guys? It's your boy Diane Punisher. But today we're doing something a little different. Today we're doing a reaction commentary video about Magic's biggest secrets finally revealed. You won't be able to see the screen, only I will, but I'll commentate about it. You might be able to hear some of the stuff in the background, but I'll pause off and on to commentate for a second. But yeah, let's watch this video and commentate. Let's go.
Before we continue, I must tell you that everyone working on this program has been sworn to secrecy. If our magician's
Sworn to secrecy.
identity is revealed, he may be blackballed from the magic community, and it could mean the end of his career. Let's go back inside.
And indeed, we will go back inside this warehouse. And we'll find out what he's doing.
We've all seen this next trick. It's called the 3-cube box. As always, a little performance helps our magician make the illusion seem more spectacular than it really is. One of the assistants steps inside the box and the magician closes and locks the doors. For effect, he checks his blades to prove to the audience that they're solid. Then he hands his assistant a red handkerchief.
We all know those blades are fake.
This is to help sell the illusion.
He didn't even tap it. He didn't tap the blade. He didn't go psh, psh, to prove it was real. He just spun it in the air. So how do we know if it's really real? I still think it's fake. Let's continue.
He feigns resistance, as if the blades are actually cutting into him. But we know that can't be happening because the assistant is still smiling, even though the blades appear to be passing right through him.
And those blades really aren't cutting her. She's pushing Dan in front of him. The blades are really plastic. A hard plastic. Word? Can we say that? Hard? I think I might edit that out.
Now for the second blade. Again, he pretends to be having a tough time pushing it through.
Yeah, even though we still know those blades are 100% fake. A hard plastic. Ah, shit. We have to edit that out. He's already putting 2 fake blades in between this woman, and she's not screaming in pain. So we know they're fake.
Waves in order to show that those hands are really hers. The middle section of the box is slid apart. The hanky's moving. She's still alive.
Yeah, you hear that? The hanky's still there. She's still alive. But yeah, the middle appears. The middle appears to be missing. I will show this to you. See, the middle appears to be missing, but we all know this magic trick is fake. But let's watch on. We will continue watching this. I will commentate.
The magician gives you a look at all sides of the box. Then he waves his hand through the missing portion to prove that the trick isn't done with mirrors. It appears that her middle is gone. He pushes the box back into place. One at a time, the blades are removed. He unlocks the door, and our assistant gets out. all in one piece.
All in one piece. Did you hear that? Let's continue. We're gonna continue watching this, but they're gonna reveal how the trick was really done. Let's watch on.
To show you how this trick is done, we've removed the middle section of the box. You won't believe how simple this one is.
Oh, did you hear that? They removed the middle piece, aka the middleman. Word?
First, our assistant steps into the box and our magician locks her inside. Then all she does is turn her body sideways and suck in her stomach.
Oh.
Now notice the blades. The handle is considerably wider than the blade itself, an important fact that is concealed by magicians.
Yeah, sorry about that. This
creates the illusion that the blades are the same width as the box and are cutting into the assistant. But we can tell that she's really not in any danger. Now the second blade is inserted into the box. It slides right past her leg.
So then how do we know if they're really real?
Now the second blade is inserted into the box. It slides right past her leg.
This chick appears to be skinnier than usual.
When the magician moves the middle section across, we can see that our assistant's body never moves. Instead, the box moves around her. Take another look in slow motion.
Oh! Revealing a lot more of her body.
Another key to the trick is this vertical strip.
A vertical strip, huh? Like stripper? Vertical stripper?
Because it's black, it blends in perfectly with the black background, making it appear that the center box has moved further than it really has. Pretty simple, huh?
So you're telling me this woman can bend in the middle? Like, she's straight up and down like this can, but she's like bent that way? I find that highly doubtful and illogical. But she's making it appear if it's easier than possible.
The box is put back together, and the illusion is complete.
Ah, he forgot to pull the blades out. Excuse me. I saw that he forgot to pull the blades out. Excuse me again.
Here's a trick that you can buy at any magic store. It's known as the linking rings. First, the magician shows you that the rings are solid. They sure look solid. Somehow he hooks two of them together. Then he magically separates them.
Yeah, we all know the magic trick to the linking rings. You can link them together. There's just a little smidge space in between one of them. You can be just like, oh, and they're stuck together. And you can do the same thing to unlink them. Be like, oh, they're apart. We all know this.
Like,
4 taps. You see that one? Clunk. And then there's 2 rings together.
again, solid, yet together. He does the same trick again, only this time with 3 rings. He puts them together. Then he takes them apart. Do you know how he did it?
Yes, we all know how he did it.
Actually, you won't believe how simple it is. While our magician appears to be forcing the rings together, it's really just sleight of hand. See? There's a tiny gap in one of the rings, which he conceals in the palm of the...
Tiny gap? You call that a tiny gap? That's like this freaking huge between the fingertip and fingertip. You call that a tiny gap? Oh, check it out. I just did the Illuminati. Oh. Even though they're not real, that group is not real. Don't believe the bullcrap you hear.
his hand. Since the hand is quicker than the eye, we need to watch in slow motion. Bet you didn't see that the first time, did you? Separating the rings simply requires more sleight of hand. Although it looks like the rings are still linked together, they were actually unhooked a moment earlier. Here's the move. And the rings are now apart. And that's the secret of linking rings.
Yeah, a gap that's like the width of this remote. Like, not like this, but like the length, I should say. The length of the remote, the gap is like that, or up and down, it's like this freaking big. You'd be just like, oh, look at that, it's magic.
Now for a more complicated illusion, the masked magician will show you how the famous metamorphosis trick is done.
Metamorphosis, holy cow! I've seen this trick done a million times by different people, and they like to switch it up and do something different. But we will watch on and see how it's done.
He begins by pounding on a wooden crate to prove that the sides are solid.
Pounding? Like, as in, like, humping, pounding? Where? Can we say that? Humping? I'm gonna edit that out.
Definitely a real crate. Right on cue. Here comes the assistant.
Oh, check it out. It's the chick from the last trick. From cutting the woman in 3 pieces. It's the same chick.
She is put inside a large red bag, which is tied tightly at the top, making...
Large red bag. Sounds familiar. Sounds like Santa's red bag of toys.
it seem like she can't get out. Now the bag is placed into the crate.
It still looks like Santa's red bag of toys. And man, that white chick looks like a tramp. Out this bitch.
The lid is put on and fastened down with ropes. Sometimes magicians will use chains or locks. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you hear that? Chains or locks, doesn't matter, but here they're using a rope which is very easily escapable.
All an illusion.
All an illusion. Keep that in mind. Illusion.
To prove that the crate is solid enough to support his weight, the magician stands on top of it. Then the curtain is raised and he gets inside.
Well, he's getting behind a black curtain. Something bad's gonna happen.
The curtain goes down and he begins to flirt with his assistants.
Flirt with his assistants? So he's hitting on them now? What is this? A magic show or a makeout session? What the hell? Like makeout? Or no, flirting with them? Like hitting on them? Like trying to get their digits, their number? Dial 1-800-DIAL-A-HOE? Can we say that? Hole? I'm gonna edit that out.
The curtain goes up again. More diversionary tactics. The curtain goes up for the last time. And magically the magician is turned into one of his assistants. Remember? She was the one inside the bag.
Yeah, she was the one inside of the bag, and she came out of the bag, which makes her gay? Fairy. Fairy. Happy. A fairy like the mythical creature fairy with pixie dust.
Now it's time to open the crate. The ropes are untied. And who do you think is inside the bag? You got it. The masked magician.
Oh, the guy in the mask came out of the bag, out of the box. So that makes him gay. Fairy. Fairy, mythical creature fairy. Pixie dust. F-A-I-R-Y, fairy.
How did he do it? Like we told
How
you,
did
this
he
one's
do
pretty
it?
complicated.
Listen.
To help you understand, here's a better look.
Oh,
We saw the assistant being placed into a large red bag, which was tied at the top. What you didn't realize is the bottom of the bag has a zipper. She's unzipping it right now.
oh, the bottom of the bag has a zipper now. How very non-convenient.
Once the assistant gets out of the bag, she reaches through a hole in the bottom of the crate and pulls on the rope to make it seem as if the lid is tightly secured. It really isn't. The extra slack will later allow her to slide the lid off the crate and make a quick escape. See?
Word?
When the curtain goes up for the first time, the assistant climbs out and hides between the curtain and the crate, while the magician puts one foot inside. The curtain goes up again, and in goes the other foot. As the curtain goes up for the third time, he quickly climbs inside and closes the lid, as his assistant is revealed on top of the crate. The timing has to be just right in order to look like an instant metamorphosis. Our magician scrambles to get inside the bag while his assistants rush to untie the ropes. He doesn't have to worry about zipping up the bag since his feet are obscured from view. And that's how it's done.
Really? That's so... That's not how the way I remember it. I remember the way this Mr. Chris Angel did it. He did it with explosions and just went boom. And then instantly from him to one of his assistants. But you got burned, like first degree burns. Ouch, doing that.
Coming up next, how to saw a woman in half and the secret behind making an elephant vanish right before your very eyes.
Excuse me. Sawing a woman in half. Sounds tricky. And making an 8,000-pound elephant disappear before our very eyes. And we're back.
We've all seen a magician saw a woman in half. Now we're going to show you how it's done.
Yeah. Gonna show the world how they saw a woman in half.
The first thing you need is a willing assistant. Of course, it has to seem like she's not willing.
Really? Willing, but not willing? Which one is it? Willing, not willing, but... It looks like she's struggling like hell just to get away from these people. Like, no, you can't make me do this. Yeah, she is struggling to get away. As the guy said, willing, not willing, but...
After all, who wants to be sawed in half?
Right. Who wants to be
Yes.
sawed in half? Would you want to be sawed in half? Hell no!
Assistant is shackled at the neck and ankles. This is to make it look like she can't move.
Yep, we all know the opening's like this wide or yeah, about that deep. So she can clearly get her feet out.
Special boxes are then put in place and strapped to the table. The doors are open so we can see the assistant trapped inside.
Yeah, the gap between the boxes is about that big. He's really not gonna cut the box. He's gonna. This guy's not gonna really cut the box. He's gonna pretend to cut it and be like, oh, I'm cutting it.
This is one of the things that makes this trick so effective. Finally, her hands are tied. She's not going anywhere.
Oh, bull honky.
The doors are closed. Now, here comes the saw. This is a real saw. The blade is very sharp. But as you'll see later, that doesn't matter. The magician and his assistant make it appear as if they're sawing through her body. Sometimes
They moved the box, so that box is fake. They're pretending to cut it. I saw the whole box move and everything. They're sitting there just going, The box moved.
this will be embellished by screams coming from the assistant inside the box.
Yep.
The saw is removed, but our magician isn't done yet.
Oh, and a giant blade. Again, another blade that looks like a cutting sheet, cookie sheet.
More blades are inserted through the center of the box.
Why did her tied up hands not go, like, spasm out like she's being cut? Her hands are just, like, comfortably just, like, you know, just all like, just, like, struggling. Just, like,
He makes it seem like he hit bone. But if this were really happening, the assistant would be dead.
Yep. Yeah, did you hear that? At this point, our assistant would be dead.
Now for the amazing part of the trick. The assistant is split in half and made dizzy just for good measure. Sometimes you'll see feet sticking out the other end of the box. These are fake feet that move by remote control.
Oh, did you hear that? Fake feet removed by remote control. So there's two people. Two people in the box. One in the top half, one in the bottom half. When he splits the box in two, that's when the second person comes out. And sticks her feet out and wiggles them.
The boxes are put back together and the blades are pulled out. The straps are untied. The boxes are removed. And there she is, still shackled to the table.
Shackled, okay. So if there was two people and they pulled off the two pieces of box, and yeah, they pulled off the two pieces of box, but there's still one person. Where's the second person? Is this platform like deeper than it really is? Let's continue.
The shackles are unlocked, and from here you can see that her stomach looks just fine. Now for the moment of truth. Here's how it's done. First, the assistant must appear to be completely immobilized. This is the key to the entire illusion. Check out the leg restraints. It's supposed to look like no one could get out of them.
But they usually can.
But watch. There's just enough room for her to slip free. It takes a really limber assistant to pull off a trick like this.
Yeah, just enough room. And she's limber. She's limber. And now she's curled up into a ball in the top half of the box.
Once the box is closed, she quickly gets out of her shackles and folds her body into the top half of the box, just in time to avoid the blade. This is
Her toes could be cut too, or just the very bottom of her feet could be cut too.
actually pretty dangerous. The timing must be just right, because the assistant has no way to signal to the magician that she's...
That's not how that chick was standing. She was standing like more off to the left, and she's all like, huh, huh, huh. Now she's off to the right, and like, like,
clear of the saw. To enhance the illusion, the boxes are spun around while the assistant remains curled up inside the top half of the box. After the boxes are put back together, the assistant slips her feet back into the restraints, making it seem as if she's been locked in the entire time.
and there we go with that limberness again.
The boxes are removed. The shackles are unlocked. And that's the trick. We told you it was simple.
He didn't even talk about the robotic feet.
Now for one of magic's most basic tricks, pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
Pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Let's watch.
Nothing in his sleeve. The hat is empty. He tosses it into the air to show you that the rabbit isn't hidden inside. He unfolds the red scarf. This is merely a diversion.
Which looks like Aladdin's carpet.
Watch closely.
We all know it's sleight of hand, just like the rings.
He reaches into his hat and... presto. Little white bunny. Here's how it's done. First, a very small rabbit is carefully placed inside a specially designed black handkerchief.
Handkerchief, huh?
Don't worry, the rabbit is perfectly comfortable. It is in no danger of being harmed. The handkerchief is then hung behind the magician's table. If you're wondering, the reason why magicians work with rabbits instead of cats or other small animals is that rabbits naturally sit still. When the magician picks up the hat, he also picks up the rabbit and puts it inside. Take another look in slow motion.
Yep, grabs.
The hat
In slow motion, he grabs his hat and rabbit all in one swift move and just whoop.
goes up, and in goes the rabbit. Now watch again and see if you can spot when the rabbit is put inside the hat.
Right there. Bang.
Did you see it?
Yeah. We all saw it.
The magician reaches inside the concealed handkerchief and releases the rabbit.
Oh, look at that.
And there you have it. Just that simple. You've probably seen the sword in the basket trick 1,000 times. Now we're going to show you how it's done.
The sword in the basket. Oh, shit. Can we say that? I'm gonna edit that out.
Our assistant brings out the basket and gets ready to climb inside.
The box is much deeper than usual. I will tell you that much right now. The box is much deeper than usual.
The magician claps his hands to signal the beginning of the illusion.
Did he say clap or clasp? I think he said clap.
First, the assistant is covered with a black curtain.
Black curtain, that looks more like a blanket or a sheet. Or with dashiki.
You'll find out why in a minute. The magician pushes the assistant down into the basket. The lid is put in place and the swords are brought out. They are not fakes. They are real swords and they are very sharp. He drives the swords all the way through the basket. It seems that they are cutting into our assistant. But if that were true, not even Fox would show you that.
Not even the company Fox would show us that his assistant is being stabbed, plunged with these swords, and you'd hear all that good stuff. And you see a big puddle of blood just pouring from this basket. And plus you'd see blood drops dripping from the swords too.
Notice the artistry. He makes it appear as if he's plunging the swords right into his assistant. It now seems that there are too many swords in the basket for anyone to survive. One by one, the magician removes the swords from the basket.
I like to put on my hands to look cool.
No blood.
No blood.
That's always a good sign.
No blood, that's always a good sign. I like to put on my hands to look cooler.
Once the swords are removed, the magician covers the basket with a black curtain. Then he steps
Here he
inside.
goes with the curtain again, and it looks clearly like a sheet or a blanket. But they call it on here a curtain. A curtain you hang stuff, or you hang a curtain over a window, like so, or a shower curtain. But this looks more like a blanket or a sheet, not a curtain. This guy needs to get his words right.
This is to try to convince you that the basket is empty. If you're wondering what happened to our assistant, you're about to find out. The magician steps out of the basket and... What's this? Could it be...
Oh, what's this? This magician looks like he's got a raging ghost. Yeah, a raging ghost. Spirit. Rising up out of this curtain.
Yes, it's our lovely assistant. Without a scratch.
Excuse me. The guy's all like, yeah, not a scratch on her. Like he's trying to sound all sexual out this bitch.
How did our assistant avoid becoming a human shish kebab?
Shish kebab? Really? A shish kebab? Really?
Actually, this is one of the easiest tricks. No smoke or mirrors required. First, while covered with the black curtain, our assistant makes it appear as if
There it
she's
goes
having
again
a
with the
tough
curtain.
time fitting inside the basket. However, without the curtain, we can see that she's merely spreading her arms to create the illusion of size. There's actually plenty of room for her inside. Once she's in position, the lid is put in place. Back inside the basket, the assistant waits for the swords. Now for the blades. Remember, these swords are very sharp. With our mini camera, we can see that the assistant knows exactly where the swords are going and helps guide them safely through the basket. There's no room for error. One wrong move could result in serious injury.
Or death. It gets very tight. with these swords. One wrong move and she could die.
Now the final sword. Look how close it comes to stabbing our assistant.
Almost right in the boobs. Can we say that? Boobs? I'm gonna edit that out. Oh, she's playing with the sword. You see that? She's all like... She was playing with that sword.
Once all the swords are put in place, the process is reversed and the swords are carefully removed. This is also very dangerous. Our assistant has to protect herself from the swords as they are pulled out of the basket. The magician covers the basket again. Then he steps inside, making it appear that it's empty.
And it is not.
In reality, our assistant simply shifts her body to create enough room to accommodate our magician's feet and legs. Here's another look from our mini camera. See, there's plenty of room. The magician steps out of the basket. Now with the curtain back on, the assistant emerges from the basket and magically reappears. Unharmed.
Shebang! Shaboom!
So the next time you see this trick performed, you'll know how they did it.
Yeah.
When we return, the incredible secret behind making an elephant disappear when magic's biggest secrets are finally revealed.
8,000-pound elephant. Go to disappear before our very eyes. Let's watch on. Ooh. Did you hear that entrance music? Like something amazing's gonna happen.
For his final trick, the masked magician will show you how to make an elephant disappear.
Final trick? Let's continue watching, shall we?
There's always a lot of pomp and circumstance in building up the excitement for these big tricks, and they don't get any bigger than this.
Any bigger than this is an 8,000-pound elephant. Or 80,000-pound elephant, but 800,000-pound elephant? I don't know.
In case you're wondering, that's a real elephant.
Well, of course we know it's real. Duh. No, it's a full-on robot that moves in real time.
He weighs 7,000 pounds and
7,000 pounds, my bad.
stands 9 feet tall.
9 feet tall. That's bigger than Andre the Giant. He's 7 foot. Bigger than the Big Show. He's 7'2". The Great Khali, he's 7'3", 4, 7'4". Bigger than the Undertaker. He's 7'1". Bigger than Kane. He's 7 foot even. Yeah, this is a 7,000-pound elephant that stands 9 feet tall. 9 feet.
His handlers are there to make sure he doesn't get out of control. It's important to remember that when you're working with wild animals, there's always an element of real danger. The assistants lead the elephant toward the magician. It's going to take a lot of magic to make this big guy disappear.
Yeah, a lot of magic illusion to make this guy disappear.
The elephant is slowly moved into position behind the gates of the cage. Again, the assistants do a little dance. masked
Get down,
magician gives the
deny.
signal, and with the elephant inside, the gates of the cage are closed.
And bam!
Keep your eye on the elephant. You can clearly see that he's still in the cage. A puff of smoke, and the elephant is gone. But while all this is happening, the elephant never moves. See, he's still in the cage. That deserves another look. First, the elephant is there. Then he's not. Have you figured it out?
Yeah, it's
Well, here's how the trick is
mirrors.
done.
It's all
See the
smoke and
netting at the
mirrors
back
for
of
this
the
one.
cage? It looks exactly the same as the netting to the left and to the right of the cage. When the cage is closed, you can clearly see the elephant, as well as
Clearly.
the netting behind him. Here's what you don't see. There are mirrors hidden inside each of the bars of the cage.
Yep, see, told you, smoke and mirrors.
When the magician triggers the explosives, the mirrors slide into place, blocking your view into the cage. You are no longer seeing the elephant and netting inside the cage. Instead, you're seeing a reflection of the netting outside the cage. Meanwhile, the elephant hasn't moved an inch. You can plainly see that he's still in the cage.
Yep.
Let's watch that again. The elephant is inside the cage. When the smoke clears, you're seeing a mirror image of the netting outside the cage. This makes it appear as if the elephant has vanished. Behind the scenes, split-second timing is critical to making the illusion work. On cue, a stagehand pulls a lever that moves the mirrors into place. Here's the trick without the smoke. You can clearly see the elephant disappear as the mirrors shift into position. Now it's time to make the illusion complete. While the audience is mesmerized watching the elephant disappear, his handlers quickly take him out through the netting in the back of the cage. Now when the magician opens the gates, the elephant is really gone. Smoke and mirrors are all
We got an accident out in front of us here. Appears as if some guy hit something or somebody hit him. 'Cause he bounced forward a little bit. And it appears he is not grabbing his neck, pretending he's got whiplash. Oh, and we got a third guy that, ooh, looks like a lawyer. Like, oh, I saw the whole accident. Really? Is he really just gonna drive off like nothing happened? Really? Really? I heard a bang. And really gonna drive off like nothing happened. I don't see any damage. I can see the two cars clearly and I don't see any damage. But yet they're still gonna exchange information. And they both look like lawyers. I shit you not. Yep, he's getting his cell phone. Yep, oh, yep, there's a ding here, yep. Yep, paint scuff here on my vehicle. But no airbags deployed. Like, yeah, let me call my agent company. This guy seriously looks like a freaking lawyer. Really? They're just gonna drive off like nothing happened. Like, nope, they're just gonna turn the corner and be like, yeah, let's get out of this traffic before we really get hit. Let's just go around the corner here. Yeah.
Also used to make other big things disappear. But no matter how large the object, the basic trick remains the same.
Breaking the magician's code, magic's biggest secrets, finally revealed, will return in a moment.
Return in a moment.
Now that we've shattered
And
some
we're
of
back.
magic's greatest illusions, hopefully this will encourage magicians everywhere to come up with bigger and even more impressive tricks. And who knows, maybe someday we'll show you how those tricks are done too. I'm Mitch Pileggi. Good night.
Good night, Mitch Pileggi. Whoever he is. But that wraps up this video. And as always, peace out.